Hello, it's Mrs. Bauer. So before you do anything, the activity I want you to do today is really just to make a list of the path of trial events that happened to Odysseus. I want you to do this together. It might be awkward, but have fun with this. Go use the whiteboard, like make a big list. What I need is the actual timeline because your book's not in order. And in order to talk about order, you're going to want to make sure that you know what actually happened. So start with Odysseus leaving Ithaca in the first place to go fight in Troy and make yourselves a timeline. I'll be right back here when you're done making that. Have fun with it. Use the whiteboard. It should be it should take you most of class to do this and you'd agree on it, honestly. A timeline and sent me a picture. Um, we need to talk about why order matters. So I have Finding Nemo again. I use this movie a lot because everybody knows it. So these are my very simplified trials in order for Nemo, or Marlin rather. So there's the sharks, there's the anglerfish, there's the jellyfish, there is the East Australian current with the sea turtles, and then there's the whale. What you want to consider is how these things tie into the character development and the development of the story. So, in order to do that, we really need to think about what would happen if you mixed up the order. So, they're going to the sharks first. Let me just randomly mix these up. I'm going to put that one over there and this one over here. Okay. So, what if we went to the jellyfish first, and then we went to the turtles, and then we went to the sharks, and then we went to the anglerfish, and then we went to the whale? How would that fundamentally affect the story? Is a question you could ask yourself. It might not seem very obvious at first, but this does matter. I personally think the easiest way to think about this is character development. So if you think about how Marlin handles things, if we take the jellyfish, he tells Dory not to mess with the jellyfish, and then he has to end up saving her. But he needs to be saved himself still. He's not a hero yet. The East Australian current, that's a very friendly sort of thing, but the challenge there is jumping into the current. And he seems to do actually pretty well with this. He doesn't want to do it, but Dory kind of grabs him and Squirt pushes them and he goes. The sharks, this is when he's absolutely terrified. Dory actually saves him. Like straight up Dory does it. The anglerfish, again, I think that there's not, he actually does something there because he pulls the mask up when Dory is reading the mask, and that's what traps the anglerfish, versus the whale where he doesn't really do anything again. So maybe I could do something with the order of how independent he is, because he totally gets that one himself. This one Squirt pushes him. This one Dory totally takes care of him. Dory does this one too, and here he saves Dory. So I'm going to put this one over here actually. Okay, so now I've done it in order of his character development. So he's most afraid to least afraid. I feel like that story is interesting because if you tell it that way, you really are telling a story of Marlin becoming braver and trying. But if you end with the jellyfish, then he fails in the end. Oh, that would be difficult too, because then the what you're saying is that he builds up all this courage and starts to do stuff. I'm actually going to put anglerfish at the end because he does something. He pulls up the mask, and that saves him, and that works. And now he's officially like competent at seafaring. So why then are they not ordered like that? Well, the sharks go, then the anglerfish, then the jellies, then the turtles, then the whale. Okay. So the shark, he doesn't really do much. He does a lot with the anglerfish. The jellies is like in between, I guess, and then the turtles and then the whale. Why is it told that way? I, okay. Hear me out. What if it is about agency? Because if you tell it this way, because the whale takes them someplace, they don't have control. And the current also takes them someplace, they don't have control. And the jellyfish, he doesn't control where he ends up. He goes into the jellyfish, he gets lost in the jellyfish forest, but then the turtles save them and they tell them where to go. Whereas if these two beginning to, they are deciding where they go themselves. So the way it's told this way is almost a story of somebody who needs to let go. That he's trying to control things so much that things only start to work out when he lets other people help him. That's a completely different story. Man, the power of literature. So what I just did, grappling with this, that's what I want you to do today. Think about why the trials come in the order they do for the original Homer, because that's what you did on the board, which is why I made you do it. Homer told the trials in chronological order. Is that different than what our graphic novel does? Because our graphic novel does not tell them in order. This really is going to be the essence of your prompt, because the prompt asks, what is the impact of ordering the trials in this way? Well, if my thesis was about Finding Nemo, I would say ordering the trials the way they are in the movie shows us that Marlin's fundamental flaw is that he is too controlling and needs to let go. And that would be my thesis. That's what I would be to defend. Now, speaking of defending thesi, I have been reading some of your papers, and I've been reading some of my kids' papers, and I think next week we will really start to harp on proper analysis and the expectations. We're going to go up anyway, and the expectations I have when you are defending yourself in your writing. So in that spirit, I have left you a video that is really good because my voice is going and he says it really well. So if you are struggling still with your essay, do watch that video. We will work with it next week as well, but I know some of you are in different places than others. But yeah, that's today. I want you to come up with your thesis. What is the impact of ordering the trials in the way that our author does? And then tomorrow is work time for you. I have added a Google Classroom assignment. We won't be able to use Turnitin, unfortunately, this time. But there will be a Google Classroom assignment posted. It should already be up. And you can just have Friday to have work time. And do let me know if you have questions. I will make it so that your papers are due Sunday night for everybody, and I want 300 words from everybody on the prompt of the week. So consider the path of trials for the Odyssey, discuss the order in which they come, and tell me what that order tells you about the story. I love you guys. Hope you're hanging in there, and have a good day.